as you've all probably seen, stuff is going mental. The banana zone is well underway. Those requests sent. Oh, here we go. Let's try this. I've just accepted.
Hello?
Here we go.
I'm here.
Lovely stuff.
Sorry. Thank you.
I don't know why. And every time I try and start these, I just do that at the start.
Let me find a way to put this phone up. I never record with my phone.
Yeah, I found it better than mine. It's easier, I think, normally.
There we go.
So for the people that don't know who Carl is, I'm going to let him introduce himself. He's a crypto OG in my standards.
Yeah. I've been around for a while, since 2012. Just hanging around, trying to buy enough money, trying to make enough money for a car or a yacht. I've not managed it yet, but we keep trying. We keep endeavoring. This cycle will be the cycle. So hopefully by halfway through 2025, you'll see me sitting in my yacht parked just outside my castle.
Where's the castle going to be, Carl?
Where's it going to be?
Out of the location yet?
Probably Guyana, Caribbean.
Nice.
I reckon. Yeah, nice weather. If I'm going to have a castle, might as well put it somewhere nice. So yeah, probably Guyana. Nice weather. Yeah, into DAOs. This cycle, I guess I'm into memes now, unfortunately. Needs must. And big on privacy and fundamentals. Not really much for charts yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still new to the game compared to you. I've only been around since 2020. But charts to me have kind of been laddered in my head all the way through, to be honest.
They've done well, you know.
It's just amazing. It's just amazing how it all works. Like, I mean, a lot of people just say it's all like voodoo magic, but like these magical lines on a chart just seem to work. And then I think if you think about it deep enough, it's just human psychology at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
each point.
I think with the charts, what happens is the move is going to be made one way or another. But what the charts give you is an idea of where they can move to and how deep the move can be. Because that's what I generally find. People will say, oh, it might move up or it might move down. If it moves up, it will move up by this much. If it moves down, it will move down by this much. They're not as accurate with the direction as they are with the
right.
Yeah. So they can put it down, but they'll get how far they'll get that right.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny if you say that, because I was literally just before I come in here, I posted an inverse head and shoulders on GOAT, which would suggest it goes to about 1.3 billion if the move plays out, which obviously from here is about, I think it's about a 40% move.
Yeah, what's it at now? 800? Is it 800 now?
And 963.
Right,
yeah. Nuts. But literally, it was last week when me and Josh filmed our first podcast. It was sat at like 580. It's crazy.
When I first got into crypto, stuff like this was like really frowned upon. Be like, oh, that's stupid. There's no point in that, is there? That doesn't make any sense. But now, I think
because it had no fundamentals.
Yeah. Well, everybody thought it had no fundamentals because I guess originally everybody was trying to be as smart as they possibly could be. So I think that meme coins don't really lend themselves to, oh yeah, I'm the smartest guy in the room kind of thing. So they never really captured people's attention like they do now.
Yeah.
And also I think there was less normal people in crypto back then than there is now. I think now there's a lot more regular people who don't want to fuss with all the technology and all that kind of stuff, or even all of the philosophical debate about freedom and privacy and all that. A lot of people ain't fussed. The majority of people ain't fussed with all that. They just want to come in, make more dollars,
and get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I've literally just asked ChatGPT as you were speaking, and it still says only 6.8 of the global population owns crypto. So that's 562 million individuals.
That's crazy.
So
Crazy.
we are still like, people say we're still early.
Yeah.
We actually are, if you look at it on that front.
Yeah, we're super early. I do think though, things are changing. Like I can tell we're not as early as we were. So in the last cycle, institutions kind of woke up at around 20 grand, around $20,000. Institutions started to get involved with crypto. And then obviously prior to the start of this cycle, which I think we're kind of at the start now, we just got the ETF. So we're just now getting to a point where institutions are really accepting it.
When you say they started last cycle around 20K, is that just them, you say like their ears pricked up and they paid attention?
Yeah.
Obviously they probably didn't have the regulation behind them to get involved.
No. Well, I would say that people who mattered started buying and they were prepared to defend that price. So around 20K, I kind of got the feeling that we're never going to go back below 20K. That second time round, not the first time in 2017.
Yeah.
The second time in about 2020, we got to around 20K. And the type of people who were putting money in, like, of course, there was MicroStrategy and guys like that, but there was a lot more people putting their money in who were prepared to defend, I feel, that $20,000 mark. And subsequently, we never really went back below it again.
Yeah, I mean, we only went down to about 15 or 16, wasn't it, at the peak?
Yeah.
And Johnny's just put a good question in saying, once institutions start buying, what have we got left to go? And I think it's just the general population.
No,
to be honest.
I think that the overall narrative is always going to be the same, and the narrative is they are printing money on that side. Yeah. So even if everyone's already bought, the sheer fact that government needs to operate, the government's not going to bring in as much in tax as it's going to spend, which means government are going to need to print more money, and that's going to inflate asset prices, means that our price will always go up. It's just a question of how much do we go up compared to inflation. And maybe when everybody's bought, maybe we just go up the same as inflation. But I'm not worried about saturation.
Do you see them doing, I know I've heard a couple of things, you probably see on X as well, where they're talking about a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the US. Do you think that's something, or is that just Maxi getting too far over their skis?
I wonder if it would undermine the dollar. That's the reason why I would wonder if they would do it, because I think it would undermine the dollar. At the moment, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because the dollar it's their weapon. It's the strongest weapon that they have right now. Yeah. And for that reason, they kind of have to keep interest rates as high as possible so that they can keep the other nations under control. We can keep we can keep our relative level of comfort. We can keep harvesting cheaper minerals, etc., etc. Yeah. So I can't see them going to a Bitcoin reserve. I think it would undermine the dollar. But
I mean, I was watching a podcast yesterday with Michael Howe. You probably know Michael Howe. He's a liquidity expert, or so supposedly the best in the business when it comes to liquidity. Right. And he was on a podcast with someone called Maggie Lake. Used to work for Real Vision, now has got her own podcast on YouTube. Yeah. And he said a quote yesterday. I mean, he said the quote that strung to my head, like, it stuck with me now. I've been thinking about it all day. Is enjoy the party, but not dance near the door. So get ready to get out when shit hits the fan. Yeah. And he was also saying that obviously people will come to take profits, but what do they hold these profits in? Because like the cleanest shirt in the laundry, he said, is probably the dollar.
Yeah.
It's the best out of a bad bunch.
Yeah.
There's no kind of sake.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. And where we've got twice the worry, because our dollars or crypto dollars are not really dollars. So even if we move into stable coins, we've got the worry that some bank somewhere will collapse, and then all of a sudden we've lost that dollars that we had. Now they're not worth anything. Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, where do you think is the ultimate spot to maybe be taking profits into? Because I know most people within the crypto space will probably hold it or look to hold it in stables. Obviously, depending on where they live as well, they could be slapped with capital gains taxes at a ridiculous rate.
Okay, so first time round, I went back into Bitcoin. That was 2012, 2013.
So was that cash out, hold stables, wait for the drop in, or just rotate
Slow
at the top?
stables then. There was no stables then. 2012.
Okay.
There was
Just the rotation back in.
Yep, go back to Bitcoin. Second time around, I sat in this 2017. I sat in the altcoins that I was in, and I got smashed to bits. But that one caught me off guard because I thought that cycle was different. So I was like, oh, it's never going back to the way it was. This time it's different.
Yeah.
Now it's going to stay like this forever. Bitcoin is going to continue to go up. I believed that, like, with my whole heart. And yeah, didn't happen. Third time round, 2021, I went back into stables. And then we had the thing with the Silvergate Bank, which almost went to USDC, I believe.
Because they both depegged, didn't they, during the bed at some point?
Yeah, USDC pegged massively. Obviously, Terra Luna, UST, that went to pieces. But USDC depegged, I lost about 20%. I took maybe a 20% haircut one particular day, but scariest day of my life because all of my assets were in USDC. And I thought, if this goes to zero, then I have to get a job. I was thinking,
did you switch any out at the time for anything else, or did you just sit and thought, right, they got to bring this back here?
Right, so funny story, right? So I was out at football with my boy and sitting there and I'm checking my phone as I do, check the price of Bitcoin every like hour or so. And as I check it, I see that for some reason the USDC is showing 85 cents. And like the phone's shaking in my hand. I'm like, wait a minute, like freaking it. So I sit and watch the football game. It was like second half, 45 minutes long, but it felt like 45 hours. It felt like 45 days. I was sitting there watching. I've raised home and I've sold all of my USDC out of USDC and DAI. I had DAI at the time. I swapped that as well because DAI is made up of USDC and USDT, and so sold out of the DAI and put it all into Ethereum. Luckily, even though I took a 20% haircut, which was quite a lot of money at the time, luckily everybody else done the same thing. Yeah. So Ethereum then shot up over the next day or so. So the 20% haircut I had turned into, I think it was like a 30% profit in the end. So it ended up out well. And a lot of people said we're being reminded why we got into this in the first place. It's not dollars. It's not to rely on banks. It's not to rely on any products that are controlled or even reliant on banks. It's to do our own thing. And yeah, so this time round, I will go into Bitcoin and just sit through the 70% drawdown or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Wait.
So that, I take it, I'm assuming that's going to be a rotation towards the top at some point, all in, and then
end of next
ride it down.
End of next year, I reckon. End of 2025, I reckon.
I mean, I know the liquidity cycle is estimated to peak out, I think, Q1 2026.
Yeah.
So, and I know Bitcoin normally tops between 6 to 9 months beforehand.
Yeah.
So it would be about August 2025, I reckon the peak is.
I reckon it's later than that.
Yeah.
I reckon it's later than that. Yeah. Because it does feel like that the bull markets are getting longer and longer. So the last one went up until, what did we get to 2022? 2021. Yeah.
No, second peak, was top 1st November 2021. Yeah. Or around November 2021.
I feel like that was maybe cut prematurely short. Yeah. I'm not sure. But I feel like we'll get to 2026 this time round. But for those last few months, from I guess August onwards, we'll all be dancing the exits because everybody's going to expect.
It's a slug, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm hoping I'll be well out. My plan is I should be well out by the time even people think
There's no chance. Yeah. There's no chance. I don't know anybody with that level of discipline that leaves and takes all the.
I hate to say it, and I don't want to make my head any bigger than it is, but I am disciplined to hell with this stuff. Like, if it hits a take profit target, bang, there's 10% of that asset gone, regardless. I don't care where it is or where it goes. But like, for me at the minute, like you might have seen a while ago whilst I was out in Bali, I'm doing the road to 120k in Doge. So I put like 12 grand in Doge or whatever it is. Obviously, Doge has gone spastic over these last, 3 days or whatever it is. I mean, it's up 105% within the last week alone.
All they're crazy now, aren't they? All of them are.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest performer in the last 7 days is CRO. 140% in 7 days.
And that's a dog.
Yeah, it's mental. I mean, you've even got Cardano up there at 83%. I mean,
that's a dog.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But for me, I'm just disciplined. I've got my stuff set out. I've got my price targets ready. As soon as it starts hitting it, bang! It's all just being cleared.
So you've got nothing at all telling you that this time it might be different.
Yeah.
This time maybe
I hear this and I get it, right? But then every person you speak to, like the OGs, like yourself, they go, every time they thought it was different, and it never was. And then you then look at like the liquidity cycles. It's just following the cycle, but in an exponential trend. So rather than a business cycle going sideways, it's just up and to the right. And it's just.
But you know what? I'll tell you something. This is going to sound so stupid. It does feel to me like this time it's different. And I know it's not.
You've been there, tried it.
Genuinely feels to me like, do you know what? This time is different because the US are talking about strategic reserves. Everybody's printing. Interest rates are dropping. Surely now this time it's different. But it won't
You've got some mad chart patterns as well. So like Bitcoin's got a massive head and shoulders. It also a cup and a handle. And the target for that is about 330. But obviously you've got to bear in mind that cup and handle was formed from April 21 till now. So that's 3 years worth of...
If we get to 330, would you have already been out by then? Would you have hit your target?
The majority of my stuff would be gone, yeah. I mean, my high...
So would you not feel like, oh my gosh, I've missed a huge...
As soon as it's all hit my price target, anything that goes above that, I'm not selling.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So, for example, for Bitcoin, my price targets before I start clipping are 85, 107, 142, 178, 200. If it exceeds all of that, then I just leave what's in there to ride. But I would be selling Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin for me is my own pension. That is a ride and die every cycle, along with ETH at the minute. But it's the altcoins and like my portfolio that is ready to set. Like Doge, for example, like my Doge targets are: first clip is prior all-time high, second one's $1, third's at $1.22, fourth is at $1.93, 270 and 315. If it goes above that, then I just hold what's left.
How are you feeling about Ethereum at the moment?
I feel good. I think.
Do you like it?
I do. I'll tell you why. Because everyone's been hating it the whole year. Everyone's been slapping ETH Foundation, like everything. Everyone is so bearish on it. And then you look at Base, like Coinbase are one of the big funders behind Trump. They've just had a pro-crypto president come in. Coinbase is set to explode. Like even if you look at the coin, so like today, if you look at the coin chart, again, it's got a massive head and shoulders on it. And a target for that would take it to around $2,700. It's currently at $300.
Wait, what coin?
So coin. So that is Coinbase stock.
Oh, right. Okay.
You can. They're the only exchange worldwide you can hold.
But we can't hold those things within crypto, can we? There's no.
I mean, in the UK, obviously, we can hold that in a stocks and shares ISA.
Yeah.
Tax free.
Yeah, but I guess that's up to a limit, though, isn't it?
No, so an ISA you can only put in 20k a year, but anything you make, say you turned your 20k into, 100, it's all tax free.
Even with this new lot in charge, they've still left that.
Still there. Okay. I mean, they're talking about reducing the amount you can put in,
but
haven't done it yet. I mean, my coin, I'm up like 188% or whatever it is at the minute. Like, it's trading like a fucking MemeCoin, and I think I first pulled the trigger back in December-ish last year, so it was around 96 to 100.
See, I've made a good play this cycle where I've gone for a MemeCoin called Higher, off the back of the SPX side. I've looked through. Right, so I've sat down and I thought to myself, where are retail going to land? And I thought, right, they're all going to land. They're going to come in through Coinbase, and they're all going to land on some meme coin on Coinbase. And I found this high. It was at 10 million market cap. It was down 80 or 90% from its all-time high. And I was like, this is a beauty. And now I'm hearing all of this good stuff about Coinbase, which means Base Network is going to see, I think we'll see most of the traffic from retail, or at least that will be the narrative. People will expect that. So I think that anything on Base should do pretty well.
The other thing is it's got a simple name. So like even the other ones like Degen, that's a lot bigger than Higher, but they're simple, effective names like Brett as well. Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me, like you say, I think Base is set to onboard a lot of people this cycle, but the other one I think is Ton. Just because the Telegram app is so simple to use, the wallet, everything is so easy.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if Ton, I mean, although at the moment, Ton seems to move on its own. Like the market's rallied, Ton hasn't done much.
Right. So I think that I was talking to my friend about this today, and we were saying, how comes SPX hasn't moved? How comes PopCat hasn't moved?
BNB hasn't moved either.
Right. And I think there's a lot of, well, BNB's a strange one. BNB's moved a bit, but it's not really.
It hasn't done what Sol's done or anything else.
Yeah. No, I think that these lot, well, with the others, BNB will be an outlier to this theory, but I think the others, because they're not on the major exchanges, they're getting overlooked by the money that's flooding in and rotating from BTC through to the others. So we're kind of thinking that the order might go this time around, BTC, then to the majors, the ones that are on, and the things that are on major exchanges, and then to all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So might see SPX, PopCat, all those other things rally later, a little bit later than the things that are rallying now.
Yeah, I mean, because I was looking at obviously my Doge stuff earlier. So Bitcoin, the first peak of last cycle, I'm not going to include the second because I just think it was wrong in its stance, sort of thing. But the first peak topped out in April. Now, last cycle, Doge peaked out at May. So do you still think BTC will be the first to top, or do you think you maybe have one of these big memes like Doge, or maybe Sol puts in a top first?
When we topped out at April, was that when we had the FTX thing?
Can't remember the exact day of the FTX. I think the FTX thing was in the second peak, so that would have been November. Or
was it that?
Okay. You know, it was April 22, wasn't it? FTX was.
Right, okay.
So it was a whole year after the first peak.
Right, okay. Because I'm trying to think what was the catalyst for the end of the first peak.
I'll ask ChatGPT quick.
There was a lot of money printed in that 2020 era, because that was when we had COVID, and all that money got printed. They airdropped money to Americans. Well, they airdropped money to people. Even we were getting paid out to eat out and all that kind of nonsense. So they airdropped a lot to a lot of people, and it kind of just pumped into Bitcoin in 21 and stocks. Everything else rallied as well. And then we had that really weird cutoff, which was the end of the first, I guess you'll call it the first top. But I always thought that felt, it felt fake. It didn't feel real. It felt like it felt to me like silly season should have lasted to the end of the year, like it always does.
I mean, ChatGPT, the only thing it's saying was around April 2021 was the Coinbase IPO. Bitcoin hit all-time highs, Ethereum rallied, Dogecoin surged, Turkey banned cryptocurrency payments, Binance Smart Chain growth, nothing on FTX, which I think, was the 1 year later in 2022, which is what gave us that final push down to that 15K area.
Yeah. See that?
I think it's difficult. Like I mean, I've seen markets move fast before, but I don't think I've seen anything move as fast as I've seen Doge, like over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy how that has just gone from like 10 cents to what, 30 now in the space.
I'm trying to think of anything that has behaved like that. I'm thinking maybe BNB. Maybe BNB in 17 kind of came out of nowhere and then became massive.
I'm looking at that now. So it was the month of Feb 2021. BNB did a 651% rally in 1 month.
Yeah, there you go. And it's
crazy.
It was the biggest exchange for a while before that. So it was around, and it was a big exchange before that, and then suddenly it went from zero to hero, like that.
That is, I mean, if Doge is to do a 600% rally and we start it from the start, it takes you to $1.10.
And that's one of your targets?
That's this month for November.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not my take profits. My first take profits start at 72.
So what do you think would have happened if Trump had have not won?
I still think we would have seen what we've seen, but just not on such a big scale.
Yeah.
I watched a podcast with I can't remember the fella's name now, but he's really into like options and flows and stuff like that. And he was saying, regardless of the election winner, you still would have seen a big influence in the market.
Yeah,
you just wouldn't have seen as bigger like pro crypto stuff come in. But like everyone and their dog has just been loading up on Coinbase stock, Tesla stock, and then the big memes, Doge, Sol, Bitcoin. Yeah. And that's why we've just seen it just absolutely. And I mean, we haven't even seen, apart from Doge, I don't think we've seen memes actually had their run.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Just making small moves, small gradual, like 5, 10, 15% a day.
Doge is already big.
Yeah.
So to move takes a lot of money. If you put a fraction of that money into any of these little guys, they're going to go crazy.
Yeah. Doge's market cap is currently sitting at 46 billion. Just to think last cycle, that peaked out at 84.
You think with $4 billion project of absolute nothing, just some good times.
Yeah.
So she'll be rolling over in his grave if he saw this.
So, I mean, this is why when I come up with my Doge thesis, I was like, if they're like, it's very simple. It's not hard to try and wrap your head around. They print more money. You find the assets that go up the most, so i.e. crypto in percentage terms, and those should smash past its all-time high market cap of 84. They would not surprise me if you see it north of 150, 200 billion.
The only thing I would say to counter that, which probably doesn't work for Doge, but works for, I'd say maybe 90% of the other assets, is the second cycle curse. Like things tend to hit their all-time highs on the first cycle, and then the second cycle, everybody's moved on. I think with memes, people don't move on. Memes, people always come back to.
It's that culture thing, I think, everyone talks about.
Yeah, because before we had 2017, we had Masternode coins, and you've probably never heard of a Masternode.
What is that?
They were like, so you'd have. Let's say you have 1 million Doge, then that would make you eligible to run your own special node. And with your special node, you can vote or you can get paid rewards, almost like staking, or you could do a few special things, but you'd have to buy your way up to one masternode to do those things.
Right.
So it kind of gamified crypto. And these masternode coins in 2017, they all went ballistic. Like Dash was in the top 5 and PivX was in the top 10.
I remember buying a bit of Dash in early 2020, I think it was.
Yeah, right. And that would have been Dash's, I guess that would have been Dash's second bull cycle. And it done nothing. It done nothing. First time round, it went to $1,500. Second time round, I don't even know if it broke 100. I think it just came down and just kept on coming down. Now it's at about 20 or 30. The chances of Dash coming back to reach its all-time highs are somewhere between slim and none. And it seems like that for a lot of these altcoins, like Polkadot, it's not going to come back at all-time highs. A lot of these projects that were massive last time round might not see their all-time highs again.
One thing I don't understand, Carl, is why Cardano can still hang around to the top 10 spot. I just don't. I know they've got a massive, like, cult-based following that love the staking benefits of it.
I knew a guy who put rockets in space, right? He was an engineer, and he put rockets in space, and he's got his work on the back of bills and stuff like that, money. He's a very, very smart guy, and he loved Cardano, loved it. And I said to him, like, why? And he was like, the reason why is because they're doing everything the way an engineer should do it. Wow. So they're coming up with their thesis, they're writing their papers, they're reviewing their papers, they're then building it, they're then testing it, they're then releasing it, and everything is happening flawlessly. So, like, I guess Cardano doesn't break down. Cardano doesn't. Cardano is like proper engineering, but Cardano is very slow to develop. Yeah. So Cardano will be doing things now that everybody else has already moved on from. But those types of guys like him, I think they've got a lot of money.
Don't fade them.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of patience. And they are like belligerent old men. And they're like, I am going to ride this horse until the end, because this is the right way to do it. And I think if you've got a community like that, the project never dies, and it never even weakens. It just stays strong. Yeah. Those guys are still making money, and they still buying Cardano because in them, Charles Hoskinson will eventually lead them to the promised land. I think eventually he'll build all the things that he says he's going to build.
I mean, because he's supposedly working with the Trump administration to help with blockchain regulation, isn't he? And that's why it pumped so hard in the last week.
Yeah, as if anybody gives a damn. It's not really. You really think about it. It's not. So what? So what if you're working with it? It doesn't matter. Doesn't mean to say that. I guess the argument would be Cardano will become some kind of payment rail for the United States. That's not going to happen. So
no,
I guess it's just that these people really believe in it, and they are the type of people to remain loyal for a period of time, and they've got deep pockets. So I don't mind. I've got some.
I mean, I've got a little bit, but I actually trimmed some off and sold it and swapped it for near probably about 2-3 weeks ago now.
I lost a lot of money on there.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of their app Soonakcoin.
No, I was out by the time that came out.
So it's a move to earn sort of thing, and
they call it deep.
Yeah, and that, I mean, I don't think deep in RWAs is this cycle. I think that's the next cycle thing.
Okay,
this cycle I think has been too big for AI and memes, so it hasn't had its market share. If you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I think it also gives them time to sort out their projects for next run.
Mm-hmm.
So they're what I'm eyeing up for next cycle. Like already, just keep on the watch list, the deep in assets and RWAs. But I can't remember where I was going to go with that. Oh yeah, Soonakcoin. So Soonakcoin is my leverage play on near this run. It has nowhere near performed like near has at the moment, but all you need is, I don't know what could be the catalyst. Like, it can literally be anything, and it'll rip.
Yes, I guess it will be. What would it be? Some athlete.
Yeah, it could even be something like in the US. Everyone, if they download, I mean, this is me thinking straight out of the box, but pro crypto regulations, they can then push near or Soonakcoin to the American population, because I know it's not massive there, but it's their biggest thing. They could then airdrop, say, I don't know, $20 for each person.
Yep.
And if you've got everyone then that starts doing it, because is it RFK, whatever his name is, he wants to have a healthier US,
yeah,
and all of this stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if something like that maybe comes out.
I heard that they're now less fat than they've ever been.
Yeah, so they've dropped down on the percentage scale for the first time ever.
Yeah.
They reckon that's all down to that weight loss drug.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So I guess there's the narrative there, right?
Yeah.
The narrative would be, let's stop taking these drugs. Let's actually sweat. Here's a way you can make money whilst you're doing it. Let's get the country.
I think that will be the narrative that does it, but I can see something like that happening.
Yeah, that will do it.
In the UK, Sweat are actually partnered with the NHS. But I didn't even know that until I did a bit of deep diving on them. Sweatcoin.
They're partnered with who?
The NHS.
Oh, all right. Let me check this Sweatcoin.
It's not massive. Like by market cap, it's only sitting
60.
Yeah, 60. I mean, I've got to post a deep dive on it, which is probably, I don't know, coming up to 6 to 8 months old on my page.
Do you know what? Yeah, this is nice because this was out barely at the end of the last cycle, right? No, yeah. It came out, well, but cap, I've got, well, CoinGecko, I've got it just coming out in September 22.
Let me find my chart. I mean, I like it. And the other thing is you can enter raffles on it, like for your Sweat coins. And I've won like $20 JD vouchers, like 20 quid Audi vouchers. So you can win some stuff out of it. It's not a bad thing, to be honest.
I like it. It's on
I've had my money's worth.
Yeah, I like it. I do like it, actually.
Where is it? I mean, it's been a bit slow this cycle. I'm not going to say it's done really well because it hasn't.
No, that's good because you if you wait until it's done well, then what are you going to get?
And obviously, I've been using it myself. So every day you use your boosts or whatever, and you can earn Sweat literally just for free.
Oh, so you use the app?
Yeah. I use it every day. But I make sure I do my 5,000 steps a day or whatever it is that I have to do. And you get extra Sweat for doing your things. I mean, just for me, looking at chart patterns, there's a potential double bottom on the monthly. If that plays out, the target from current price to the target is a 800% move. So I'm not going to say the stars are aligning, but I think if near performs and some sort of narrative comes out around it, wouldn't surprise me if it's just rockets.
I think if near performs, the first thing you've got to look at is the memes on near.
Yeah, I think there's a dragon thing and some sort of cat one on there. I want to say it's gecko or something.
All right, where can I see the?
They're now literally minuscule.
Okay. Yeah, so if there are some nice small memes on, but I like Sweat though. I do like it, and the good thing is that its chart, it's well off its all-time highs.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it starts to go up, people will start to.
Have you heard of? This is one thing I want to run through you as well. Have you heard of Maple?
No.
MPL, real world asset play, but it has been a slight silent mover over the last couple of weeks.
No, I have seen Maple before.
It's about 230 market cap, I want to say.
Yeah, I can see it here. I feel like I've looked into this one, actually.
It is, I think it's the real world assets / deep in paper next cycle, but the chart is looking like it's about to go from 30 to 100 real quick.
Yeah. And you know, when these projects are over 100 market cap or 150, they tend to move now. People are more or less
safe.
Vanish. Yeah. Safe. Yeah, exactly that.
I mean, that's what I was doing as I was coming along. As I went down the risk curve, I used like 500,000. That was safe. Then it was 100 million, and now it's like 10 million. Okay, that's all right. That's it.
Yeah, I like 10 million. Around 10 million for me is like, that's when I'm rubbing my hands together. If I see anything lower than that, I do get excited. I've lost quite a lot of money this cycle throwing it into really
AI coin, the tiny one that went like batshit today.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So me and the boys, we had this back in October, and when the dev was selling, like the dev for whatever reason was putting some sus tweets out.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, right, I'm calling this here, I'm out. Like, we'd made money on it, so we can't complain. And then I looked, one of the boys put it in today, and they were like, it's just been listed on Binance, and it's literally shot from down at 0.01 up to 47 cents, like 2,000% in 24 hours.
How many people from Binance do you think go to prison in the next 2 years for this sort of stuff?
I reckon there'll be a fair few, but then what I don't understand, right, is why. I mean, I haven't looked into fully why this was listed, but at the time of listing, this was only 20 mil market cap. Okay, before it's gone up to 450. Now, the only other one to be listed, which is an AI/MemeCoin play, was Go prior to this. So why all of a sudden is Act on there at 20 mil?
They say that Binance asks for a significant chunk of your circulating supply.
Right. So he could have given them some of the supply to get it listed.
He would have given them a massive chunk of the supply. Somebody else with very deep pockets would have taken a massive chunk of the supply, and they would have probably given Binance, I don't know, 30, 40 million.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Like, it can't be legal.
No.
Surely. Surely it can't be.
Someone that has made absolutely silly money off that.
Yeah. Someone has made silly money on it. And I guess from here, from the 50 cents that it's at now, it might go to 70, and then it will just slowly bleed for the rest of its life.
Yeah.
And everyone, and Binance will just suck the money out bit by bit as best as they can.
You got a bag of goat at all?
No, absolutely missed it. I'm so into the SPX with Opcat Mini.
I haven't branched out to these other
rad coins. No, the only one I branched out to was Higher, which I found myself.
Yeah.
The Goat happened a bit too fast for me. Like, if something's already up to 200%, I feel like I'm not allowed to buy it.
I know what you mean. Don't want to buy on green days.
Yeah. But just someone's exit liquidity, then I'm just giving someone else money to exit and laugh at me. So I try not to buy on things like that. So I missed Goat.
I mean, we played around a bit. Like, I think it was about 380, 450 when we first got in. But I was just using it as a spot trade. Like, I knew this thing was going to go big, but I thought, no, I'll be able to catch it down, as everyone always does. And then I had some limit orders set, and only my top one got hit. So I was like, anyway, it is what it is. Managed to snipe the bottom before what we got now.
Yeah.
And I've come across, have you heard of, is it Taki on YouTube? He's a DeFi kid. He's quite young. I would have said 20s.
Okay, so one of the stars of this cycle.
But I think he's been around since last cycle. Like, he's pretty old. He's YouTube.
You just said he was 20.
Yeah, but he's been around in his 20s. Sorry,
okay.
20. So it's Taiki. I don't know if you've watched him before, but I quite like his content. He's quite thorough with his stuff as well. And I watched his video on Forest, as you probably see in there. It was posted 3 days.
You're like that Chinese guy?
Yeah. So I was watching his video on this Forest thing yesterday, right? And I'm watching it, I'm thinking, Christ, I've heard of something like this before. Like, it fits the narrative of AI, memes. It's got its own Twitter bot, whatever you want to call it. And it donates every month to, like, Save the Forest organisation or whatever it is. Like, the community votes with where the donation will go, or whether it's saving orangutans, planting trees, or whatever else it is.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, Christ, this is just a goat all over again.
Yeah. But with a
narrative as such.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everyone, because as an exchange, you can be like, oh, we're listing this, and every month the community votes who the donation goes to, whether it's planting trees, saving monkeys, whatever it is. And then I can see this being, I can literally see it from doing a goat. So I've rotated the money that I was going to add into goat on those limit orders straight into Forest.
I'm such a DJ. I'm going to buy this.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
What's the video?
Do you know what
What's the video? It's crazy.
With these types of things, I always think to myself, if it doubles, I can take my initial out and
always
just be easy. And I think for this to get to 50, that's a piece of
work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the chart now and I see a cup and handle.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at the last 7 days. It looks like it's done 300% already.
I mean, the cup and handle, if it hits a target from here, it should be going to 0.046, which percentage moved from now?
80?
Yeah, 74%. So, let's see. But I mean, that's one thing I always try and tell all the boys in the Telegram or in the free Telegram. I'm like, guys, if you make double or 1x, just get your initials out.
Yeah.
As soon as it's risk-free, you're playing with the house money. Who cares what happens to it?
Yeah.
Like we should have done with ACT. We should have left our money in ACT and just done nothing and ride it or die it. But look what's happened.
Yeah, but do you know how many projects I've done that with, and that money's just vanished now. I'm saying
what, 80% of them?
Yeah. Like the stuff I pick, 9 times out of 10 lose. But the one that you get, then you're happy because it'll be. I
mean that was you put me onto that Xano. That has done absolute wonders for me this year.
Yeah, and I did buy it myself.
Yeah, I remember you saying as well.
And you know what? When I looked at it, I was watching, because I like to watch these hackathons and stuff. So I'm watching this Monero meetup that these guys are having, and there's these Xano guys talking, watching them talking, and I'm like, these guys, they don't go outside. They don't have girlfriends. They don't do all of that stuff. They code. And when there's guys like that, they're going to build something good.
No.
And I was, these guys, they're going to do it. And they won't quit until they've done it. 2 Russian guys. And I was like, right, this one's a good buy at this price. And then I just never got around to doing it, because it wasn't a case of buy it with Solana. It wasn't a case of buy it with anything like that. Case of move money onto an exchange, then buy it, then download the wallet and put it on that. I was like, I'll do it later.
Yeah, and then you forget about it.
And then it moved.
Literally, when I had that first conversation with you, right, I need to take note, he's an OG. Like you said earlier, you don't fade the people that have been around this space long.
Yeah.
Because that's where you get with the knowledge from. And so I took a note of everything you said, and I was like, right. As soon as I come off that call, having a look at it, I was like, yeah, it looks sweet. Literally in about 15 minutes. Because I'm like, right, he said it, right, just pass in the DCA. And
this worked out. I guess you've got has it doubled since?
I mean, it's already hit 2 take profit targets for me.
Okay.
So I've already trimmed about 15% of my bag.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell, it's at 100 now. Yeah, because I guess when I was looking at it, it was at maybe $3.
Yeah, I think my average price is about $3.20 something.
It's crazy.
Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the worst part is that I didn't even get any. I learned this. I was watching a podcast the other day. I don't know if it's a podcast, some guy talking, and he said some famous investor, he was quoting a famous investor, and he said that you can always buy, panic buy. You can always buy first.
Yeah. Can't panic sell.
Yeah. Like, as soon as you think something's good, buy it and then do your research. Yeah. And if it turns out that it's good, then at least you've got it. If it turns out that it's bad, then sell it.
That is one of the exact mottos I've literally lived off since moving into this space. Like, this in the first 6 months, I can't remember who it was from. They were all, I think it might have been to an in-person meetup. He was like, whatever you do, you're young enough to just buy the damn thing first and research it later. Yeah. Like, don't muck around if you think if it has potential or has narrative, or he said, just buy the damn thing and go do your work on it after. And that's what I've done.
I said the exact same thing in our first conversation as well. I said, if I was your age, I would be buying every piece of nonsense that I saw, buy it all, because you've got enough time. Like, you've got enough time to pile your risk on and just go. And I guess, luckily, at least I done that when I was younger. I did, like, my risk is high. My risk is unreasonable.
I mean, it's like that Xano one. I didn't put an initial big like lumping. Like for me, everything has been in my DCA bag for the last year.
Mm-hmm.
So since December 2023, I've just been continuously DCA with spare income into this stuff. And then when you say, if we get like a big drop or I get a big lump sum, I can be like, right, here we go in, sort of
a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, but going back to base, I think the other thing that's going to absolutely rip is Aerodrome.
Right, but isn't that already big? Because I was looking at that.
Big-ish, but I don't think it's big enough for the size of Coinbase, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah.
I still don't even think Coinbase is big enough for what it is. I mean, it's only valued at $66 billion.
So, fun fact, last cycle, I think third or fourth best bag.
$83 billion.
Is that, and that's base, is it?
That's Coin the stock.
Do we say stocks are bigger than their crypto counterparts because they've got more money can flow into them?
I don't know, but what I try to think is if Binance was a company, right, what is their value? So what is the crypto market at the minute? Just shy of 3 trillion?
Yeah.
What are we at? I mean, Binance has got to be at least 200 billion, 3 market cap wise of that.
How much bigger than Coinbase is it really? I
mean, if you exclude America, obviously they have a much bigger market share over the East and everything like that.
But they also, how much of their numbers do they fudge? How are they? And that's the difference. If you exclude America, then everybody's just saying whatever they feel like saying. I can open an exchange tomorrow in half of those jurisdictions and say, yeah, we're doing 70 billion in transactions every day. So,
I mean, I don't, because I think Coinbase's market value is still underpriced for what it is. Like, I see Coinbase being bigger than an $830 billion company. I mean, you look at someone like Roblox, which is just a gaming developer, but that is a massive game worldwide. It's only at 36. Like, that is undervalued in my stance, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think Aerodrome, I can't see it being. I mean, what is the market cap on that?
I think that you could look at and compare it to what was the top of PancakeSwap. Because PancakeSwap was last cycle. Yeah, what was the top of that? And then I guess multiply that by 3, and I guess that's where Aerodrome goes to.
My laptop's a bit. So that's one thing I will be doing is getting a new laptop.
I still use a old Dell workstation that's literally, I don't know, I think it cost me like 200 quid.
DeFi, Cake. No, it's not Cake, is it?
Yeah,
it is Cake.
It's Cake. Yeah.
What chart? I don't know if I'm on the right chart here, but on my chart, I've got a peak at $42.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. That's about right.
And Aerodrome is currently sitting at $1.48.
Right, so
let me have a look at market caps.
Yeah, see market cap.
Aerodrome market cap is currently $1 billion.
Yep.
Then Cake.
See, I don't know how we can see historic market caps because I can only see historic
peaks out at 7 billion, just shy.
There you go.
6.8.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've got that as well. Yeah. Okay, so
7.
I would say Aerodrome goes back to.
Yeah, I actually didn't think of that as a comparison. It's because I wasn't around to see the PancakeSwap boom as such. So
that's one of my plays that I do is look at a network, find the top decks, and that's the leverage play. You play the top decks on the network.
But do you think Uni will do well this cycle?
Uni done well last cycle because Uni was like Casper. So Uni moved before the actual bull run. Uni moved in the DeFi summer. That was when it. Uni's a strange one because they're building their own chain, which makes them a little bit different now, and they're spread across loads of other chains. Yeah. So I think anything, Uni might cause Aerodrome to not reach the heights that Pancake reached, because Pancake had almost no competition. There's
quite a lot of competition now for Aerodrome.
Yeah, so Base might be in a market where it's a little bit more segmented, a little bit more saturated.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, so like the ones, I mean, I'm comparing this to Tom, which is tiny in it, because if you look at D-Dust or that and the Tom blockchain, they're tiny little dexes, but they are so much easier to use in Aerodrome Finance. Like from a UI UX perspective. Yeah. Like it took me a while to figure out Aerodrome. Like,
what type of volumes are the Tom dexes, yeah. But I don't know how much people have on their mobile phones.
Let's have a look.
For me, when I got into crypto, and I've never revisited it, but when I got into crypto, having any wallet or anything on your mobile phone was kind of seen as like crazy because your phone is so insecure. Blink of an eye. But I guess that wouldn't be a thing now. People wouldn't care now.
Let's have a look. Spot trading volume in the last 24 hours was 20 million.
Yeah, so that's not much.
No, it's tiny.
Yeah.
But the UI UX for it is just so simple.
So that's the narrative. Does that catch on? Does that become a thing that people do?
Because I know, Tonna, they're trying to be like you said earlier with, was it Near?
Yeah.
They're trying to be the chain that brings that 1 billion people into the space.
Yeah. And I was watching a hackathon. A few days ago, and the one of the projects was a Telegram app, and this app was brilliant. And I realized actually that there's going to be a lot of people who aren't even going to go to their computer to do crypto. No. Like go to your computer. I remember when like MySpace came, you'd go on your laptop and you would do social, and then Facebook got an app, and now you don't go on your computer and do social. You go on your mobile and do social. Yeah. But I'm wondering if this cycle, maybe it's too soon, maybe not. If this cycle is a cycle where people do crypto on their mobile.
I think it is though, because irrespective of me looking at charts and everything else that I do on my laptop, all my buying, the majority of my buying, my selling, everything is done on my phone.
Yeah. But
it's rare.
Don't you worry that your phone is not a secure place to keep your money?
No, but I don't keep it on the phone. So say I buy something in Phantom, I then send it off to my Trezor or Ledger Soul wallet.
Right. Okay.
So it holds the assets, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So someone could take my phone, but good luck to them because they're not going to get far with it.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it. But obviously, then again, like you say, people's also depends on what people's security measures. Because if you're not that good with your security, you can't expect to maybe hold everything if your phone does get taken. Whereas I'm pretty tight with mine. As soon as an exchange gets over to a certain level, bang, I move like 80% of it off.
And how long until? I guess I've got a SafePal actually, hardware wallet which works with my mobile. But how long until these things like Ledger and whatnot can plug into your mobile?
They're already on there. You can do your Bluetooth through your Ledger to your phone. You don't even need a laptop.
Okay.
If you get the Ledger Stacks, the Ledger Flex, and the Nano, you can just do it all via Bluetooth.
Right. Okay. So
you don't even need a laptop.
Yeah. So in that case, I guess we can start to consider this Ton blockchain up there with Base. We can start to consider that people are going to come in
comparison.
Yes. I think we can start. This will be the place where retail lands.
I think the only
mobile app.
The only thing that Ton doesn't have going for it is that it has the stigma of Russian Eastern background, and that's not liked by the Western side of things, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So I'm not.
It's a problem.
I'm not sure if it will be as friendly, but I think Base is definitely the one for this cycle. But it would not surprise me if Ton still goes silly because of releasing something.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
It's so-
all my Telegram contacts I can just send money to in the click of a finger.
And we feel like Base will have the backing of the US government,
Yeah.
whereas will not.
Yeah. You got Brian Armstrong, you got Elon Musk. I mean, you couldn't. I mean, when people were calling for 150k, 200k Bitcoin this cycle, like however long ago, say early this year, I couldn't see that happening. Just couldn't.
Oh, really?
I mean, I could see maybe 150 at a push, but I wasn't thinking 200, 253. But that now you see this pro-crypto stance government come in, and you're just like, holy shit, it actually could. And like, no, I don't think anyone's prepared for it. But like you said earlier, this time might be different, but I'm not playing it that way.
This is what silly season does. Silly season, everything, which things that don't really matter suddenly matter so much.
Yeah.
Like China, they didn't ban Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin went crazy, and it was like, it's because Chinese people are buying it. And
yeah, I mean, because last cycle, I fully haven't experienced like a silly season, as you say, because I didn't get until say March 2020. But at the time of March, I wasn't in it like I am now.
Yeah,
I probably didn't go into it fully till August, September, and that's when I saw Bitcoin and the bigger things run, but I'd already missed everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd already missed the boat, so I just left buying at the highs, and with that guy that rode it, I'd even said down. But
well, I think everybody comes in at a high. I don't think anybody comes in at a low. Everyone, because I came in at 2012 high, and it was like I think it was like $600 at one point, and it was $800, and it was $900, and it's the same night. I remember thinking to myself, bloody hell, this crypto thing, and then I got in, and then it reached 12 and never went back for like 4 years.
Yeah.
So I think everybody gets in, everybody's like a mug for 3 years until they get their second.
But that's the thing. So you try and like, I've been banging the table with my mates group for God knows how long about all this stuff. And some of them are like, "Oh, will you shut up now?" Blah blah blah. And yet, when price action, as you say, it drags everybody in.
Yeah, here they come.
Like, you start getting the messages. You start going, right, what am I getting? What am I getting? What am I getting? You're like, you should have been buying 6 months ago. Like, it's a really dodgy time to be buying now because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And there's no, because like now I find TA is pointless to me now, kind of thing, because everything is just so vicious. Like you can't try and predict. You can do the psychological big round numbers.
Yeah.
Like 90k, 100k, 120, 110. But for anything else, unless you're looking on like weekly and monthly time frames, I think anything on the daily and the 4 hour for me is quite difficult at the minute. But if I'm looking at weekly and monthly and it looks good on the chart, then I'm playing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's difficult. I guess my first 4 or 5 years until 2017, I was like, because it was Facebook back then. And I remember I used to type stuff like, "Oh, Ethereum's going to change the world. Everybody learn." I don't know why I'm saying Go. I guess it was Solidity, but I'm sure it was called Go for some reason at the time. Everybody should learn this language and blah, blah, blah. And I would say this stuff and people would just say, "What are you talking about?" And then I used to say, I'd go and tell my mum and dad, "Oh, listen, you need to buy this Bitcoin stuff." And no one gave a damn. And then obviously 2017 came along, and then people would be like, oh, I want to buy crypto. So they bought at 20 grand. Yeah. Then it went back out to 2 grand, and they were like, "Oh, you're in it." Why you've been... And then it's come back. So I don't know. Now I just keep quiet about it now. I don't really like.
I think, like you say, I think I've gone past the stage of trying to get people in, and they'll either just come to you and they come to me, or they just find their own way in.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
I think now that the real, what I did say, I've said this to a few people, maybe 2022, maybe last year, things like that, and I said to them, we're at the stage now where you can't afford not to have crypto. Like, you can't afford to have all of your money in the bank or in
the
dollars,
S&P 500
or in your you can't afford to have all of your money in this one thing, which ties you to a location, and you're not really liquid, and will get killed in real terms by crypto. You can't afford to not have any exposure to it now. I say that to people now. So you have to at least have, I don't know, like 10%.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the institutions start, isn't it? They start with that 1-2%. I think you should allocate to blah blah blah, and then they see it, like you say, go on these moments of silliness, and they're like, "Christ, this outperformed my whole portfolio on a 2% allocation."
Yeah,
and then that's where they up it to 5 to 10%.
Yeah,
and then it slowly just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger.
I tell you what would be interesting to see what today. I want to check now quickly to see what today's or yesterday's, I guess we'll see. Now we won't, will we? What the ETF inflows were.
It did over $1 billion within the first 35 minutes today.
Yeah.
Crazy. I put it on my story. Crazy numbers.
Yeah. See, because now these guys know, it doesn't take a genius to know I can look like a real smart boy around all of my peers if I just buy this Bitcoin at the start of this silly season, which will be the same as it was 4 years ago, and 4 years before that, and 4 years before that. So I was wondering what it would be like. I wonder what the ETH one is like then.
So on the IBIT, you have 3.26 billion volume today. GBTC is at 510 million. FBTC is at 761. Then ETH.
These are going to push the price ridiculously. And whilst it's going up, nobody wants to sell. Everybody is trying to hold it until we find some price discovery. And there's no telling where that can be. Because these they can't run out of money.
No. I mean, total volume for ETH is 689 million in volume today.
That can't be right.
I think that's today's figure. Whereas BTC ETF is 5.67 billion.
No, that can't be right.
I'm looking at that wrong.
Yeah.
ETH ETF overview, volume 166 million in ETHE, 267 million ETHA, 155 million in Grayscales, 54 million in Fidelity.
Is that today or is that total? That sounds like
no. It might be total.
Those are massive numbers.
I don't know.
I'm checking. I'm on SoSo Value. I'm on sosovalue.com. And so let me check CoinGlass.
I might be reading that wrong.
That sounds like it's cumulative. If that's just today, let's see.
To be fair, and the Bitcoin one makes sense. So if you've seen $1 billion in the first 35 minutes, I think you can see 5 point something billion dollars in volume.
Don't forget, some of that there'll be something coming out as well.
Yeah.
Some comes in, some comes out. So let's see. I can't see the ETF on this CoinGlass. Oh, there we go. ETFs.
That in. I just want today.
Yeah, that's crazy. It says 5 billion, but that must be total volume. 3 billion. Is that 24 years?
I think it is. Oh, that is crazy volume.
Oh, that can't be right.
Yeah, in IBIT today you've had You've got in IBIT today you've had 1.93 billion volume today alone.
No, here we go. Right. No, right. So IBIT today we've got 67 million volume. 3.1 total. Assets under management 17 billion. There's two volumes. If you look at the top, there's two volumes. So there's price change, volume, turnover. So I think the first one's total.
Oh, total volume of ETF traded.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And the next one is the baby. Yeah, I thought billion's crazy for one day because that everything would break. That'd be crazy. I would be in my castle already.
But that's what I've got here on. Let me find the tweet. Which means find the tweet. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF does 1 billion trading volume in just 35 minutes.
Yeah, trading volume is not inflow.
No.
Trade be in and out.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then people ask where's the money coming from. There you go.
Well, one of the someone I spoke to was saying that even now the ETFs aren't actually available to everybody.
So in the UK, we can access. I want to say it's just the BlackRock's one via stocks and shares ISAs.
Yeah.
But then everyone owns. Yeah. Well, no. Obviously, certain countries haven't got it, but then everyone also knows that you can just play Bitcoin miners or MicroStrategy or Coinbase on top of all of these.
Yeah.
So that is why, I mean, and anyone that knows how to buy Bitcoin, you're not going to buy it through stocks and shares ISA, right? You can just hold the asset yourself.
No, but what I'm thinking is like these pension funds and things like that, a lot of them, they can't buy them yet because of some small piece of paperwork that's not ready for it. Something like that I was being told. I need to find it out properly.
As we're speaking, Carl, Bitcoin has gone up to 86.3.
Yeah.
I think we started this at 84.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I've still got I do my CryptoSI Chronicles every day. Mondays I do a market recap, and last Monday I was like, yeah, I'm still bullish, hopefully if the election goes our way, we'll be all right, we'll go. And I didn't expect 86.
No.
I didn't expect.
I thought we'd see an 80 handle before Christmas, but not 80. I didn't think we'd be closing in on 90 within the first, 2 weeks of November.
When I first bought Bitcoin, cost £60. I bought one Bitcoin for £60. And
said it, or have you still got that one today?
I've gone through a few wallets since then, but I've never gone below one Bitcoin. So I guess technically I have just moved it around. Yeah. Yes, I have.
What is the P&L on that?
I've got some horror stories about stuff I've done with Bitcoin over the years. I lost. I had a USB drive where I was working with some privacy software and stuff like that, and I'd put a little Bitcoin wallet on there, and I thought I'll send a little Bitcoin there, and I think I sent I sent 1.5 Bitcoin to this USB drive, and the USB drive broke, and I was annoyed because it was like, I don't know, I think it was like £200 at the time. I was like, bloody hell, just like £100 on this stupid USB thing, and it wouldn't work, blah, blah. And I thought, do you know what I'll do? I'll keep it because one day it might be worth enough worth taking it to an expert to fix it. And then I lost the USB drive. But I always remember I've got 1.5 bit on this USB drive. Yeah. Which is...
That is killer. That's the only downside about being an OG in the space, isn't there? You've got some bad stories to go.
It just makes you not want to spend any money. I like, if I can find it, where would I? Trying to think where it would be. I remember when I first started, because I used to like spend Bitcoin wherever I could. So it was like a thing to like people will say, oh, buy a cup of coffee with Bitcoin or buy this with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So anytime I could spend Bitcoin, I would spend it. And I remember I'd spent some Bitcoin buying a hoodie. And I'm sure at the last time I checked, this hoodie cost like 30 grand or something like that. because it had cost me like for Bitcoin, something like that. It's something stupid it was. But
where did you buy a hoodie from that you could buy for Bitcoin? Like, that must have been super rare.
Yeah. It was difficult. So I don't know. I wouldn't want 30 grand, but it'll be like probably at this point, like, I don't know, 5 grand or 10 grand. Yeah. This hoodie's probably. I
was trying to buy some more bloody cold storage wallets the other day, but with crypto, nowhere accepts it. I was like, how does Ledger or Trezor not accept crypto for a cold storage?
Yeah.
That's nuts to me.
Yeah, that annoys me. And you can't buy them secondhand.
Wow.
So what you can do, or what I did do for this, I think I used a site that was called purse.io.
Right.
I think it was purse.io to buy this hoodie. And Purse was a site where you could buy anything off Amazon using crypto.
Right. Okay.
So you'd have your own wish list, and people would come and say, okay, I can buy this, this, and this for you. And then you would send them the crypto, or you would go into like an escrow. They would buy the stuff, ship it to you. When you receive it, you release the escrow, they collect their thing. So that was how I would spend Bitcoin, like back in the day.
Yeah. Crazy.
And yeah, I regret it all. But it just makes you not want to spend any money. So now, like even now, anytime when we're in the bull run, I get frivolous.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of like, might as well spend it because it's worth more than it will be worth for the next few years. So let me spend it. But then when we're in the bear market, I get tight. Like I get tight. Like my wife will say, let's go and eat out. And I'll be like, yeah, McDonald's looks good.
Next week.
We can have a fish and chips. Like, because I'm just thinking to myself, if I spend £10 today, it's £100 tomorrow. So I don't want to spend it. I don't want to spend any of my money, which is, I guess it's good.
Right. So before we finish it, because I think we've been going about an hour now. I think it's been pretty good. Let's do some predictions for next week. So obviously Monday next week's time.
I'm going to write them in my diary. All right. So, okay. So what we should do is we should always have maybe 3 that we always do. We'll have Bitcoin.
Yeah.
We'll always do Bitcoin. You pick one, I pick one, and then we'll pick 2 on the week. Be random.
Right, well, let's do the biggest meme coin. We'll do Bitcoin and Doge.
Okay. So Doge is your pick.
Yeah.
Mine will be. I'm gonna go with WIF.
You're gonna go with.
Mm.
So do we keep it? Do you want me to keep it meme/AI narrative or just anything?
Anything.
Oh. I won't choose one of the smaller caps because otherwise people won't know what I want about.
I think you should, and that could be their homework to be go and find it. Because if you're right, the small caps is where the money is.
Right, okay. I'm not going to go tiny. I'm going to go. So
okay,
go. It's relatively big in the meme coin world, but it's still small compared to other assets. So I'm going to say. So we're doing BTC, Doge, with and Go, yeah?
And I'm going to pick one as well. I'm going to pick Wales, which is whale market. So
we've got 5 in total, yeah?
Yeah. So when we get to Wales, I'll have to show you or you'll have to look at it and I'll describe why I think it's going where it's going.
Right. Is that on deck screen, yeah?
Yeah. Wales is quite small, but it's brilliant.
Wales market.
Yeah.
Market cap of 9.8.
Yeah. Fully diluted might be about 20.
37.3. Christ, today that has moved.
That one's gonna tear. What did you say? Melt faces.
Christ, look at that.
That one's gonna melt faces. I bought some of it earlier on today, and it's up like 30%, I think, from when I bought it. And I've been looking at. I used the site, and I've been looking at it for months, thinking this is well undervalued.
I take it this is like an actual project then.
Right. Yeah. So this one.
Give it to me.
Right. Let's do our prediction, and we'll.
Right. So we'll do BTC first.
Yeah.
What are you saying for Bitcoin next Monday?
92.
92.
Yeah. Let's come out to play.
Right, Carl says 92k. I'm going to go with... Well, that's now 86. I mean, that's not far, is it? Everyone's pretty hyped at the minute. I'm going to be conservative. 88. I'm going to say we could go up to yours, but then come back down.
Okay. So... what are we saying at the
day, time of the day, like when we come back online?
Yeah, at the start of next week's live. Okay, cool. All right, so what you saying?
88.
Okay.
Doge. So I'll start off. I'll go with next Monday. Everyone's a bit euphoric. I would bang on a resistance. I'm gonna say 20. I'm gonna say 28. I'm gonna think we drop back.
Oh, boom. 28. Okay. I'm gonna say 36.
I hope you're correct in that one.
Do you know what? If I'm correct about BTC, I'm going to be correct about Doge because I've started off crazy. I've got to see it through.
Yeah.
There's no way I see a 92 Bitcoin and then a lower Doge.
Yeah.
That's not. All right. Whiff. I think Whiff's going to move.
Yeah. It's been slow.
I think that's the rotation. I'm going to say 350.
Ooh. I'm going to go 4.
I should have gone 4, shouldn't I? I've said what I've said. All right, I'm going to go 350. And you're going to go 4.
Right, so go.
Done.
I'm going to go with my head and shoulders target and say we can do that in a week because I think it's been quite slow compared to the others. And I want to say $1.30.
I'm going to say the narrative ends, the world moves on, and I'm going to say
Really?
82. Yeah.
Ooh. See, I don't think it's ending. I think it will hang around.
It doesn't feel like a hang around narrative for me.
0.82. Right, then Wales, give it to
Right.
What is it?
Okay, so Wales, I'm going to pull it up now. I use it because what it does is it allows you to trade tokens which haven't yet been released. So
Right.
like airdrop tokens and things like that, which will still be a thing. You can trade them before they're released on this market,
Okay.
and they call it a free market. You can buy and sell your points, so people could buy and sell their Eigen points. You can buy and sell hyperliquid points. I think hyperliquid still hasn't released yet.
This stuff, the hyperliquid and Eigen points, is that all people get that by staking and other things?
Yeah. Well, you're kind of trading it before it exists, or before you can trade it, but you get the hyperliquid points by using the hyperliquid app. Hyperliquid is like a perps dex.
Right. Okay.
So you use the perps dex, you get the points. But they've had loads of others, and I think that these types of airdrops will be the way new projects get attention and start to get traction, because it worked well for them. So hyperliquid is the top one, which if you're not using yet, you should be using, because I think their airdrop will be quite big.
I literally don't use any. The only dexes I use on Sol are Jupiter and Radium.
Well, yeah, and they've got perps, haven't they?
Yeah, I don't use it for perps though. I just do straight swaps.
I do perps as well.
See, I haven't gone down the rabbit hole with this. This is all still new to me.
I need to put tiny amounts, because you always lose your money in the end. The market will move wild against you. But one of my pals who does Forex, he has been saying for years that when the market starts to move, he's going to long everything massively. That I put massive leverage on a long. Now, if we'd have put massive leverage on a long when Trump won, as soon as he won, we'd all be like,
you'd be flying.
Yeah, we'd be flying. So that's what you do on this Wales market.
Looking at the prior market cap, it peaked at 117 back in Feb.
Yeah, and that was
is crazy.
But that was during airdrop mania, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was when everybody was chasing the airdrops like crazy people. Now, I think airdrop mania comes back. I think it, because I think that quite simply, these projects, they can get real engagement through it. I think there's still a big chunk of the world where $50 airdrop is worth their time.
Yeah.
It's worth their fee. The same game plan that made Axie Infinity a massive project. So
you look out to all you have to do is look at Asia for that. Like, even when I went to Bali, you can see that even if they made $5 a day, it's a massive difference to their life.
They can live. Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
They can live. And that gives these projects not quite the liquidity that they need, but then the user base. Yeah, the user base. And then if you go and tell a VC, that we've got 25,000 users, and
it looks a damn sight better.
Yeah, can raise.
So where do you think this is going to be next month?
Price-wise, I think this takes off now. I think we're seeing the start of the takeoff. I bought today. I am up as we speak. I didn't buy enough. I should have bought.
No one ever does.
I bought enough of SPX. But with this one, I looked at it and I was like, get busy, throw a big chunk, and then I didn't. I really should have done. I would say we are at this time next week $1.
$1.
Yeah. $1 whales.
I mean, I'm going to have a stab here. Not that I'm literally just going to look at the chart and choose something. Let's have a look. If this is the start of what you say it is, I think
this chart,
125.
This chart looks horrible, doesn't it? Like this run up. I'm looking
on the weekly. It's not as awful as like it first seems, but I think you come. I'm going to be conservative. I'm going to say $1.69.
That's
because you've got a lot of resistance.
Okay.
You got a lot of resistance in that zone.
I've gone for $1. You've gone for $1.69.
Oh no, sorry,
0.69. Yeah. Okay.
69 cents.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I might have to have a little dabble with that one.
Yeah, I would suggest not financial advice, but
everyone watching, nothing today has been financial advice. Purely our personal faults.
But I have to caveat that with the fact that our portfolios are very nice. We have nice, sexy green portfolios, so you don't have to listen. But
we've done the hard work. Now it's plain sailing for the next couple of weeks to months.
Yeah.
It's been good, mate. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Right, so same time next week?
Yeah, next week. So I don't know if you want to host next week's one, and I'll be a guest on yours.
Okay.
Just so it switches it up a bit, because I think you hosting, you'll have more of your followers coming, whereas when I host, my followers come in, sort of thing.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
And we'll get the posts up and whatnot about Saturday, Sunday again. I know today was a bit short because it was sort of short notice, but
we won't. I wasn't being serious today. It was my fault. Are these recorded? Will we have a copy of this?
I think I will have a copy of this, so I'll then, if I can, send it to you.
Yeah, if you can, because
we can then use that to clip it up for content and whatnot.
We can clip it up. Yeah. I think it's clippable stuff.
Yeah. I think great session, mate.
Stuff.
I look forward to the next one.
See you next week.
Yeah, take care.
All right, take it easy. Bye.